Hi guys, welcome to the very first episode of Money Chat with Hafsat for the year 2024. I missed you guys and I'm super excited to have you back on my channel. So today we're going to be talking about a very important topic. We're going to be talking about how to navigate inflation in our day-to-day activities. I know there are a lot of content out there that I've been telling you about, oh, you should go invest your money, you should invest. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should invest. But then those of us that are still struggling to survive, they are still trying to figure out how to manage our daily activities. Are we in the right position to invest? I guess we probably have to ask ourselves that question. So today we're going to be talking about how do we navigate inflation in our day-to-day activities? How do we manage our expenses? And how do we maximize the most of our current income? So if this is your first time coming to my channel, my name is Hafsat Itonla. And I am the face behind Money Chat with Hafsat. And this is a personal finance channel where I talk about how to manage your finances in a way that it can enable you to take your financial goals. So you probably want to ask, how do you manage inflation in your day-to-day life? So one of the things that's going to really help you is by focusing on what you can control. First, because within the past 6 months, since let's say there was a subsidy removal for those of us in Nigeria, since there was a subsidy removal, since the inflation has been skyrocketing, prices of goods and services have been skyrocketing and all of that. For some that were lucky enough, they received an increase in salary. But those few people, if I should ask today, do they feel better off with that increment? Or right now they can't find that money again? I'm sure a lot of people are on this table. So, and that's why you can't keep looking at what is outside your control. The economy is not going to get better today. Instead, you have to look at yourself. What can you control? And one thing you can control is how you spend your money. So one of the things you want to do is to be stringent with your expenses. You want to give account for every naira that you are spending. You want to know where that money goes to. You want to be sure that stuff like impulsive spending, discretionary spending, and spending on things that are not adding to value to you should be totally eliminated. And the first way for you to tackle that is by adopting the use of a budget. You know me, I am very big on budgeting. Budgeting is what does it for me. Budgeting is one of the reasons why I've been able to take up financial opportunities that require financial investment. Budgeting is one of the things that has made me be able to take up those opportunities when they come. So you might want to adopt the use of a budget. Why? Because by budgeting, you are dictating how you want to spend your money, even before the money comes in. I know some of you want to say you use budget, but if I should ask you deep down, what kind of budget do you use? I am very certain that it's a mental budget, the one you do in your head. That plus and minus that you do before you spend money at the market, that is not budgeting. That's mental budgeting. And it's not very practical, because it's very flexible and then you can change the budget almost immediately. But instead of using a mental budget, it's about time we transition to the use of documented budget, written budget on your phone, all of those kind of budget. If you're having trouble navigating budgeting, I am your very best bet. You can book a one-on-one budgeting session. I have a template, a very easy to use template, and I'm going to walk you through building your first budget. That's one of the good things. It is not that complicated, but the benefit of budgeting is you can direct the flow of your money even before the money comes in. You're able to prioritize what matters the most to you. You're able to eliminate spending on things that are irrational and things that are not carrying you forward to achieving your financial goals. So another thing I want to talk about is look for ways for you to cut down costs. First of all, you're creating a budget. A budget might tell you how to apportion your money. And it's also going to highlight places that you can cut costs from. And you're going to now critically find ways to cut down on costs. Now, to give you a practical example, for instance, when it comes to feeding food items, there are people that still go and buy food whenever they want to cook it. They go to the shops nearby and buy things that you need. Doing that exposes you to more inflation. A better approach would be for you to, let's say, go to the market and buy things in bulk. That's one of the things I do when I was in Lagos, and I still do it now. I'll buy 5 kg rice and it's going to last me for 3 months instead of me going to the market every weekend to go and buy rice. If you cannot afford to buy in bulk once, you might want to maybe join funds with friends and buy a bag that the two of you can share together. It saves you more. In fact, another thing it can help you do is it can help you angle down price, because now you are buying for bulk items instead of small items. So find ways to reduce cost. Another way is quality is not always determined by the price. Nowadays, a lot of people are migrating to finding lower or cheaper alternative, and that is one thing you should actively look for. For instance, I wanted to buy swimwears a few weeks ago, and then I met my friend. She went to the market, she saw one that was good, and they told her 10K. What if I told you at the end of the day, I bought that same swimming wear for less than 5,000 naira? Yes, I found another market. A friend of mine went to another market, saw that same item. I was able to buy it at a lower price. So now is the time for you to explore all those local markets to buy cheaper things and get them. I can assure you that you're going to get for the same quality for a substandard price. Yep. So another thing you want to do is let's talk about black tax, right? A lot of the reasons why we cannot save money is because we want to send money home to our loved ones and all of that. So one thing you want to do is be more strategic about it. For instance, sending 10,000 monthly every month might not really be practical again, might not be reasonable, because 10,000 is it's nothing these days, right? So instead of doing that, you might want to adopt maybe sending a lump sum or buying something tangible that can last few months. For instance, let me make example of rice again. Imagine you bought rice, a bag of rice that's about 60 or 70K, and then you send it home. There's a high chance that that rice is going to last about 3 to 4 months. Now, within that 3 to 4 months, you have more time to save and buy something more tangible for the coming period, right? So instead of sending 10,000, because 10,000 every month is not going to do anything, or 20,000, help them solve one of the major house problem. Maybe they need oil, maybe they need a big bill or whatever. And doing that will make them disturb you less, because they understand that, oh, you were the one that bought this rice is even still at home. So it's more understandable. You can have conversations with them and let them understand what it is like with you at hand, and I can assure you there's a high chance that they'll be able to support with that. Another thing you want to do is probably subscribe to health insurance. You know, one thing about health insurance plan is it's actually not so expensive. There are the ones that you can get for as low as 5,000 naira. We are working every day. We want to make money. The economy is stressing us. But are you taking care of your mental health? Are you taking care of your physical health? No. What if you break down tomorrow? What happens? I've actually had a very similar experience. And what came through for me, to be very honest, was health insurance. Some of this health insurance also come with gym subscription and the rest. And it can also cover cost of drugs and all of that. The prices of drugs is skyrocketing as well. So this can help you absorb some emergencies as they arise. So you might want to adopt that. And then additionally, we are no longer in the era where we stick to just one job. Let me tell you, you cannot survive anymore on just one job or one source of income, especially if you want to fight inflation. So one of the things you want to do is be more productive. As much as you can, save so that you can use that money and invest in your earning capacity. You want to upskill, you want to enroll for courses that can increase your earning capacity. You want to start rendering services. I remember last year I was all into creating extra sources of income. I tutored, I made sales, I did a lot of things. So you want to adopt every measure possible, legal means possible, to increase your sources of income. The best way that you can fight inflation is by earning money daily or weekly or monthly, if possible. Increase your earning capacity, and it's going to go a long way in helping you fight inflation. And then finally, one thing you want to do is to seek out low-cost ways to finance essential expenditures. I know you probably want to say, Hafsat, I've been saving and saving. By the time I bring out that money, inflation has eroded it. The money that I saved can no longer do anything. I can totally relate with that. I can totally understand that. And that's part of the reason why I first of all talked about budgeting. If you're budgeting, you'll be able to have a timeline of how long you need to save up money for that project that you want to do. And also, if you're budgeting, you can be thorough and you can be more intentional about fast tracking the process. Let's say you want to do something and you need to save money for 6 months, but because you know inflation is might make it more difficult for you to do that, what you can do is save aggressively, or do whatever you can do aggressively. So instead of 6 months of saving, all you need is 4 months or 3 months of saving, and then you invest the money into the next thing that is going to give you more money. Another thing you might want to do is consider cheaper means of earning, of getting that money that you need. For instance, let me give you an example. When I wanted to get my apartment in Lagos last 2 years, I didn't have the money saved up immediately. So what I did was I consulted a friend, and she borrowed me that money. So now what you want to do is, if you have, let's say, a big reasonable project that you want to invest in, either yourself or something, you might want to consult maybe family members that can borrow you the money. And then at the end of the day, when you are paying them back, all you need to do is just add something extra on it. And then it's going to be much more cheaper than a regular loan. So let me know in the comment section which of these tips you're going to be adopting and which of the strategies have been helping you so far. I'm looking forward to see your comments and your reactions. See you guys next week.